All right, everybody. So welcome to Chapter 8, the digestive system and nutrition. So some stuff to think about while we're going through this first lecture. What are the digestive system structures? What are their functions? What's an alimentary canal / GI tract organ? Goes along with what are the alimentary canal organs. Also, what's an accessory organ? And what are the accessory organs? So like what I'm talking about here is like, what's the point? Why do you have accessory organs? And then actually like, well, what are they? Can you name them? And then finally, the thing to think about is what are the layers of the alimentary canal organs? So when you're thinking about digestion, kind of the easiest way to think about it is to divide its organs into two different categories. So you've got alimentary canal organs, which are organs that make up the alimentary canal, and then accessory organs, which are critical for food breakdown. So even though they're called accessory organs, which kind of carries this connotation of, just the accessory, you don't necessarily need them. You do need them. You do need them to break down and absorb your food. So the steps in the digestive process are ingestion, which is just putting food in your mouth, and then digestion, which begins kind of immediately as soon as you start chewing on whatever food you're trying to eat, and also continues with different enzymes like amylase that's inside your saliva, that's inside your mouth. Then you have to move food through your GI tract or your alimentary canal. I'm going to use both GI tract and alimentary canal kind of interchangeably during this lecture. I'm talking about the same thing. And then, it's not enough to just sort of break down these food. You actually kind of need to hydrolyze it so that you can absorb it. So you have to break things down and then actually be able to absorb the things that you've broken down. And then finally, it ends with elimination. It ends in the bathroom where you remove undigestible molecules, typically into the toilet. So here's just a quick overview of the digestive system. On the left side here, you have accessory organs. On the right side, you have digestive tract or the alimentary organs that I was talking about. So your salivary glands are going to be releasing enzymes so that you can break down carbs. Your liver is going to be breaking down fats and storing nutrients. Your gallbladder is going to be sending bile to help you sort of further break down fats and other things. And your pancreas is going to secrete this pancreatic juice, which has more enzymes. It's also going to produce insulin so that your blood kind of knows what to do with all the carbs that it's getting, knows how to regulate those things. So those are your accessory organs. You also have the mouth on the GI tract side. So these are GI tract organs. And your mouth, you should know, you use it to chew up food, duh. And then you have a pharynx beyond the mouth, which is a passageway for food. And you have your esophagus, which is where peristalsis, which is a good word to know, peristalsis pushes food to the stomach. And I'll probably talk about that in lab some, but peristalsis is just a wave-like movement of muscles contracting in order to move something down, move something through it. Beyond the esophagus, you have the stomach, which, as you know, has stomach acid and digestive enzymes so that you can churn up your food. After it's in the stomach, it sends what's called chyme. It sends chyme to the small intestine. And what chyme is just food that started the process of digestion. In the small intestine, you start mixing that chyme, that's partially digested food, with digestive enzymes so that it can be broken down into its final state. The small intestine is where your nutrients are getting absorbed into the body, and it's also where you're going to secrete digestive hormones into the blood. And then the large intestine, the final part, or getting toward the final part, is where water is going to be absorbed. Then finally, you have the rectum, which is where there's no great way of saying this, that's where your poop goes. After food's been broken down, you've absorbed all the water off of it, you've absorbed all the nutrients off of it, it gets turned into poop and gets eliminated from your body. So there are a few major layers that make up all your GI tract organs, so, or your alimentary canal organs. So these are all the same for all of the organs that we talked about going through your entire alimentary canal. So you have the mucosal layer, which is the innermost. So this is like what's actually touching that chyme or that food that you've just eaten. Its main thing is to produce mucus, which is one of the hallmarks of the digestive system, is the production of mucus. And it also is protecting the rest of your body from lots of the enzymes that are getting excreted into your digestive tract. And it produces some of those enzymes as well. Then the submucosa is the second layer of loose connective tissue. It's got blood running to it, it has lymphatic vessels running to it, and it has nerves. And then you have the muscularis. I'm probably saying that wrong because when I learned it, I probably learned it wrong, but that's how I'm going to say it. The muscularis is that third layer, and it has these layers of smooth muscle tissue that are generating that peristalsis, that are helping to move food along. And then you have the serosa, which is this outermost lining. So mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, and serosa. So we can kind of take a peek at what these would look like if you were able to see inside of your body. You have this innermost mucosa layer, and this is going to be different depending on which actual organ it's inside. So it'll be different for your esophagus to say your small intestine, but the same basic blueprint is here. Then the submucosa here. All right, again, this has blood, lymphatic tissues going to it. Outside of this, you have the muscularis, which is the muscle layer. And then finally, the serosa out here, right here. And you can see here that these tissues are being supplied blood and are connected to the lymphatic tissue as well. So the path that food takes after you've eaten it, or while you're eating it, I suppose, through the alimentary canal, it starts in the mouth, then it moves on to the pharynx, then it goes to the esophagus, then onto the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, which leads to the rectum, and then finally to the anus. And I'm going to stop that there. We're going to dive into the details of each one of these organs later on, but I thought I'd keep this video a little bit shorter so it's a bit more digestible for everyone.